So this was supposed to be our top story of the week, but two things happened that kind of pushed it down. But my buddy Gerard Ryan of bodyslam.net, we call him Big New Distribution Deal Gerard, because he's been saying for years, he's kind of like the Tuxedo Dragon of Twitter. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Tuxedo Dragon from the Wrestling Observer message board,
Oh, yeah.
but he's just been talking about different TV deals that Impact could be possibly getting. Well, they finally got one. All right. He's been saying they're going to get one for a long time, and they finally got one. Whether or not it's a big deal or not, I think that's up for debate, but it's definitely a plus. I will say that it's definitely a good thing for Impact. So they signed a multi-year agreement with the DAZN, DAZN. They mainly focus on boxing. They got Canelo Alvarez under contract with them. I still think they have Anthony Joshua, right? Am I correct in that?
I think so. And Triple G, I think too, right?
I think Triple G. I know Tyson Fury's no longer with them. Tyson Fury's with ESPN, but anyway, they and then I know Deontay Wilder's Fox, I think. So they got all their different affiliations with boxing, right? So that's who they have. They have some lower level MMA shows, I think, like Brave FC and some other promotions like that. And then depending on the country that you live in, they have live sports there. So I know in Canada, which Impact isn't going to be on, they actually have the NFL Red Zone, right?
I don't think they have that anymore. I could be wrong. I could be wrong because TSN has it now, unless it's both. I think they have the Premiership, which is really popular though.
That's the soccer.
Yeah, the soccer, and they have a lot of tennis and billiards. And just some really odd programming, and they had MLW at one point.
They did, yep,
and they had Bellator. And
so I was a subscriber when they had Bellator because I'm obviously I think everybody, if you like combat sports, you like Canelo, you like to watch his fight. So they had him, and then they had Bellator, and I think they signed that deal in like 2018. So for the first year of DAZN's existence, I was there, and then when they cut Bellator, I canceled my sub.
That was too. But the thing is, the reason I bring that up is they were the like a lower level MMA at the time, number two, but a really distant number two, and DAZN paid them $99 million over 3 years.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know what they would be paying now, but they tend to overpay. So you might look at this and think, oh, maybe it's just a timeshare deal or whatever, but they might actually be getting some decent money for this.
Maybe.
I don't know, but I mean, for them to save 10 million
after I get into the specifics, I think we'll probably not think it's that much money.
Oh,
so it'll give DAZN viewers in 170 plus countries, including, I'm just reading from the press release. UK, Ireland, Switzerland, Austria, France, Poland, Spain, Italy, the Netherlands, Japan, and Brazil. And many, many more, obviously. The best seat in the house, watch Impact Wrestling's weekly Impact flagship series. And then they also will get the pay-per-views, and they will get the premium live events. That was the initial one, right? That was the initial press release that they said. So I reached out to Impact's PR.
Yeah.
Because what I didn't see was a very important word that you would want to see to rather gauge that this is a big deal or not. I didn't see anything about exclusivity, right?
Oh, okay. Right.
So I immediately texted one of their PR guys, and I was like, hey, what's going down with Impact Plus? Are people in those countries still going to be able to see Impact on Impact Plus and the YouTube Ultimate Insiders? And they said, yes, they can. This DAZN deal is just in addition to, right? So that right there tells you if DAZN's not paying for exclusivity, they're not likely paying very much money. Now, again, this is JD Oliva's saying, but some money is better than no money.
Correct.
So they're now getting more money right now than they were once getting before. So that's automatically a good deal. But this is not replacing anything. This is just more places to see to see Impact now. Then the day after, they also released the news that, yes, you can watch all the premium live events and you can watch the pay-per-views, but you'll get access to those 7 days after they air. So this is not a good deal.
So the 7 days later, is that for the monthly shows as well, or just
everything?
Wow.
So
okay.
Not the weekly show. I think the weekly show you get it right away, but the monthly shows.
Now their platform is good, so the weekly show might be easier to watch on that than it is on like you've mentioned. You've had issues with Impact Plus. I haven't, but I tend to watch things on demand, so that might be the reason why I haven't had the issues.
So,
but it's something.
Well, it is. So here's my theory. So Impact Plus, that app is putrid. It is like just been a headache. JD and I had to postpone several episodes because they just wouldn't load the episode on time. And we relied on that technology in order for us to do our podcast. So I definitely have like a personal resentment against that app. They just don't know how to manage an app. They suck, right, at managing an app. So what I think this is them kind of dipping their toe in the water, right? So DAZN created a separate division now called DAZN Wrestling. They created all new Twitter accounts and all new YouTube channel, and it's all geared towards their wrestling programming. And they are primarily promoting Impact on those new accounts. I think that's a good sign. The guy that actually signed the deal with Impact, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he actually said that this could actually blossom into something bigger. Streamable had an article about this, and they said don't be surprised if sooner rather than later you see Impact on DAZN in both US and in Canada. And one of the reasons why they're not there yet is because of their existing deals that they already have in the US and Canada. I think a lot of people have these annual subscriptions. They have all this stuff. Maybe some of that stuff clears out, and then Impact Plus and Ultimate Insiders essentially gets swallowed by DAZN, and then it becomes a place where you're like, hey, it's like the one-stop shop for all things Impact. I could see that happening in the future, and then DAZN would then have to come up with some more money. But until then, right now, it's just kind of like, hey, they're just dating a little bit, right? They're just
the only way I'd sub is if they included the quarterly specials, like the pay.
Same here.
Yeah. Otherwise, like for my $7 a month, for Impact Plus, I'm getting the monthly shows, and I'm getting the TV, and I'm getting the archive. So the one interesting thing that nobody's really touched on about this is AEW, it was reported about 6 months ago, was negotiating with DAZN for international distribution deal. Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics reported that, and Dave picked it up in the Observer as well. And then, you never heard anything about that, anything else for months. And then all of a sudden Impact's got a deal. So I don't imagine DAZN chose Impact over AEW. My guess would be that the money was not enough where Tony Khan was interested, and Scott D'Amore said, "Hey, sign us up." That may also be
and it's not exclusive,
right? And that may also be a hint as to how much this deal is actually worth.
Yeah. So like, it's not going to be a game-changing deal for Impact, but look,
it's like you said,
if it's more money, right? And then also, a lot of people have DAZN in a lot of those countries that likely don't watch Impact, right? And now they might watch Impact. Now, if you're already an Impact fan in those countries and you're already a subscriber to their app, there's no need for you to go and subscribe to DAZN. So what you're going to do is you're going to leverage the already existing DAZN customers. You're not going to grow that base because there's no real reason for that base to grow based on what they're getting, because you have a better deal with Impact Plus and Ultimate Insiders. That deal, there's already a better deal out there. That's actually a lot less expensive. I know, depending on the country that you're in. Here in the US, it's $20. I think in Canada it's 15. And then other countries it's like, $15, $10, whatever. But Impact, their YouTube Ultimate Insider, it's $5 everywhere, right, on YouTube. And then their app is $7.99 everywhere. So it's actually like a better deal to just stick with Impact. But look, if you're already a DAZN subscriber, you're a big fan of Canelo, you're a big fan of Anthony Joshua, and you got the Premiership Soccer League and all this other stuff. And look, and you're like, hey, I'll check out Impact. That's kind of cool. I haven't watched TNA in 10 years. Maybe I'll check it out. So I think that's a good opportunity.
Maybe they got the archives up there, and then you can say, oh yeah, I'll go back and I'll watch Hulk Hogan, I'll watch Sting, Kurt Angle, all these guys. So I it's not a bad thing for sure. It's just definitely not a game changer or anything.